Hello everyone, I am Kirti and this is the third lecture of linked organic reaction series, and today we are going to do the Cheche-Babin reaction. Actually this Cheche-Babin reaction, it is a kind of nucleophilic substitution reaction on aromatic heterocyclic compounds that contain nitrogen. Okay, so before we do this Cheche-Babin reaction, let us quickly brush up our concept of aromatic substitution reactions. And for that, let us compare two aromatic compounds. First one is benzene. This is not a heterocyclic compound. And second one is the pyridine. This is aromatic and heterocyclic. So we call any compound as aromatic if that compound satisfies the Haeckel's rules of aromaticity. And what are Haeckel's rules of aromaticity? Haeckel's rules, okay. So for any compound to call aromatic, it should be cyclic. And the second thing is it should be planar. And it should have 4n plus 2 pi delocalizing electrons, okay. Let us see benzene. Benzene is cyclic and all the carbon atoms in benzene are sp2 hybridized. Therefore, this carbon and all the hydrogens, they lie on the same plane. So, this whole molecule is planar, okay. And if you see, there are 3 pi bonds in benzene and each pi bond has 2 electrons. So there is a total of 6 electrons, 6 delocalizing electrons on benzene, okay. And these electrons, they continuously keep delocalizing between all these carbon atoms, okay. So if you put n is equal to 1, the number we get is 6 and it is a Haeckel number. Therefore, benzene is aromatic. Now look at pyridine. This pyridine, it is also cyclic and similar to benzene, all the atoms in pyridine are also sp2 hybridized. Therefore, this molecule is also planar. And if you count the number of electrons, you can see that there are 3 pi bonds, 3 delocalizing pi bonds. That means there are a total of 6 pi electrons, okay. 6 pi delocalizing electrons in pyridine. Therefore, pyridine is also an aromatic compound. You can ask me one thing, why are we not counting this electrons, lone pair of electrons which are present on nitrogen? This is because these electrons, they do not participate in delocalization. Because all these pi electrons, they delocalize in the orbitals which are perpendicular to this plane of this pyridine ring, okay. So if this is the pyridine ring, these p orbitals are perpendicular to this plane of this ring, okay. And the electrons present in these orbitals, they keep delocalizing. But if you look at this lone pair of nitrogen, the orbital in which this lone pair of nitrogen is present is parallel to the plane of ring, okay. So this one is parallel to the plane of the ring and all these p orbitals are perpendicular to the plane of the ring. You know that delocalization can happen only when the orbitals are in the same plane. Therefore, these electrons and in the orbitals in which these electrons are present and these p orbitals are perpendicular. Therefore, the delocalization of these electrons is not possible. And hence, this lone pair on nitrogen do not participate in delocalization and is not counted here. Therefore, the total number of electrons we get is 6 pi delocalizing electrons, and pyridine is also an aromatic compound. In organic chemistry, if you see that there are only 2 kinds of substitution reactions. First one is the electrophilic substitution reaction. Electrophilic substitution. And second one is the nucleophilic substitution. So what is electrophilic substitution? Any electrophile, that is any positively charged species, if it comes and attacks on the substrate by replacing the other positively charged species, here in this case it is H+, then such reactions are called electrophilic substitution reactions. Here on benzene, the electrophile is coming and replacing this H+ and taking its position. Therefore, this is an electrophilic substitution reaction. Now, what is a nucleophilic substitution reaction? In nucleophilic substitution reactions, a negatively charged species, that is nucleophile, will come and attack on the substrate by replacing another negatively charged species. In this case, a hydride is replaced here, and this nucleophile will come and attack on this position. So these are electrophilic and nucleophilic substitution reactions. But we know that benzene is famous for reactions such as sulfonation, chlorination, bromination, free radicals, alkylation and acylation, and all these reactions are electrophilic substitution reactions. That means benzene can easily undergo electrophilic substitution reactions, but it is difficult for benzene to undergo this nucleophilic substitution reactions. Let us see why. So this is our benzene, and you have 6 pi electrons in benzene or 3 pi bonds, and these pi bonds, they keep delocalizing on this ring. Therefore this ring is rich in electron density. So therefore this benzene has high electron density. So benzene has high electron density. So when this nucleophile, which is negatively charged, if it approaches benzene, there will be repulsions between this benzene and nucleophile. Therefore benzene does not undergo nucleophilic substitution reactions easily because it is already rich in electron density. Okay. But electrophile can easily come and attack on benzene because benzene is negatively charged, because benzene has high electron density because of this pi bonds, and this electrophile is positively charged. So there will be attractive interactions between this benzene and electrophile. Therefore electrophilic substitution reactions on benzene are very common. Okay. But nucleophilic substitution reactions do not happen on bare benzene ring. But if you substitute one of the hydrogens on this benzene ring with any electron withdrawing group like nitro, then what happens? This nitro group, since it is electron withdrawing, it will pull or drag the electron density of this ring towards itself, which makes this benzene ring less electron dense. Okay. So when this nitro group drags the electron density of benzene ring, it becomes less in electron density. Okay. Therefore this nucleophile can come and attack on this ring now, because the electron density on this ring has got reduced due to the presence of this nitro group. Okay. So nucleophilic substitution reactions on benzene are possible only when one of the hydrogens is substituted with some electron withdrawing group. Okay. But electrophilic substitution reactions can happen even on bare benzene. Now look at this pyridine. This pyridine is very similar to benzene, but you have here one carbon is replaced by nitrogen. Okay. So pyridine is known for nucleophilic substitution reactions. This is because this nitrogen is more electronegative than carbon. So what it does, it pulls this electron density which is present in the ring towards itself. Now this ring becomes less electron dense when compared to benzene. Therefore this nucleophilic substitution reactions, that is this negatively charged species, can come and attack on this pyridine ring, because this pyridine ring is less electron dense when compared to benzene. Therefore pyridine can undergo nucleophilic substitution reactions easily, whereas benzene cannot undergo nucleophilic substitution reactions. Okay. So, but when we compare the electrophilic substitution reactions, the electrophilic substitution reactions are happening easily on the benzene ring when compared to pyridine ring, because this pyridine ring has become less electron dense when compared to benzene because of the presence of this nitrogen. Now that we have gathered some basic knowledge of aromatic substitution reactions, let us do this Chitti-Babin reaction. So what is this Chitti-Babin reaction? It is the amination of N-heterocyclic compounds with metal amides at higher temperature. So our reactants are heterocyclic compounds that contain nitrogen, metal amides, and the condition is high temperature. So let us take pyridine as heterocyclic compound, that N-heterocyclic compound. Let us take sodamide as the metalamide, NaNH2, and let this delta represent the high temperature. Let us give the numbering here. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4. These two carbons are equivalent, so I give the same number. These two carbons are also equivalent, so I give the same number. Now you can see that there are 2, 3, 4. 3 positions on which this NH2 minus can come and attack. Okay. This NH2 minus will not attack on this nitrogen because this nitrogen has a lone pair of electron and it is also withdrawing the electron density of ring towards itself. So this makes nitrogen rich in electron density, and nucleophile is also rich in electron density. Therefore, when this nucleophile approaches this nitrogen, there will be repulsions. Therefore, this nucleophile cannot attack on the nitrogen, but it can attack on any of these 3 positions. But this nucleophile particularly will prefer the position 2 and position 4. Okay, so the product we get is so we get these 2 products. Okay. So there arises a question, why this nucleophile can attack only on position 2 and position 4. Let's see. For that, let us write the resonance structures of this pyridine. Okay. So this pi bond will shift on this nitrogen because this nitrogen is more electron negative when compared to this carbon. So the structure we get is this one. Nitrogen will bear a negative charge and this carbon will bear a positive charge. You have a bond here, you have another bond here. Now in the next structure, what happens? This bond will shift here. Okay. So what happens? This carbon, it will get a positive charge. This bond will shift here. There is a negative charge on nitrogen and there is a bond present at this position. Now you can see among all these resonance structures, the positive charge is present on the second position and fourth position. Okay. And there is no charge on this, this third position in both these structures. This nucleophile, it preferably attacks on this position 2 and position 4 because this position 2 and position 4, or carbon 2 and carbon 4 has less electron density when compared to carbon 3. Therefore, this nucleophile will definitely go and attack on second or fourth carbon. Okay. So, the product we get is a mixture of this. There is one more thing. If you continue this Chichi-Patin reaction for a longer period of time, a side reaction will happen and a dimer is formed, and that dimer is this one. So let us see how is it formed. We know that sodium bears a positive charge and this amine, it bears a negative charge. So what happens when this amine group, it attacks on this position 2, it will replace a hydride ion. Okay. So it will replace a hydride ion and it gets attacked here. So that hydride, let me show it. So this NH2 minus will come and attack on this position and this hydride will go away. So this hydride, it will combine with this Na plus to form this NaH, sodium hydride. We know that the sodium hydride is a very strong base. Now you have sodium hydride in the reaction mixture, you have pyridine, and list it here. You have this pyridine, sodium hydride, and this one, the substituted pyridine. Okay. So what this sodium hydride does, since it is a strong base, it is capable of abstracting one proton from this amine group also. it abstracts this proton from this amine group. Now what you have is this one. So this is also a nucleophile, right? Now you have two nucleophiles, this one and NH2 minus. So this nucleophile can also go and attack on the position 2 on pyridine, right? Because you have pyridine in the reaction mixture. So what happens is, this nucleophile, it will attack on this pyridine. I'll write it here. This is the pyridine. Now there are chances that this nucleophile will go and replace this hydride ion at position 2 on this pyridine. So this hydride ion will go away and this will attack at this position, and as a result you get this diamond. Okay. So this is the side reaction that happens in Chichi-Vabi reaction. Now let us look at the mechanism of Chichi-Vabi reaction. The mechanism for this reaction is very simple. We have pyridine and we have sodamine, and this reaction is happening at high temperature. We know that the sodamine is an ionic compound, so this sodium, it bears a positive charge and this amine group, it bears a negative charge. So what this sodium does, it forms some kind of interactions with this nitrogen because it has a lone pair of electrons. Now when the sodium forms interactions with this nitrogen, as a result this nitrogen becomes more electronegative and this pulls the pi bonded electrons towards itself, and what we get is this. So this pi bonded electrons have shifted on nitrogen, therefore this nitrogen will get a negative charge. This nitrogen has interactions with sodium and a positive charge is generated on this carbon. There is a pi bond here. Now you have NH2 minus, a nucleophile in the reaction mixture, and you also have a nucleophilic center on the substrate. So this nucleophile will go and attack on this nucleophilic center. There is one hydrogen on this carbon, okay? So as a result we get here we get the NH2. We have hydrogen already on this carbon. This nitrogen has a negative charge and the sodium has interactions with nitrogen. So when this pi bonded electrons, they shift here, what happens? This hydride will be eliminated and this hydride, it forms bond with this sodium. I mean ionic interactions with this sodium. As a result we get this. We get a bond here. You have NH2 on this carbon. This hydride will get eliminated and forms ionic interactions with sodium. Therefore, we get sodium hydride. There is a bond here. So, we get a substitution on position 2. Then, how do we get a substitution on position 4? Now, if this pi bonded electrons, they shift here, the resonance structure we get is this. A positive charge will be generated on 4th carbon. So the pi bond is between these two carbons. Now this nucleophile NH2 minus will go and attack on this carbon. This carbon already has a hydrogen. So this nucleophile will go and attack on this nucleophilic center. As a result we get this thing, okay? So when this electrons shift here, this pi bond will shift here and this hydride will be eliminated and it forms bond with this sodium to form sodium hydride, and what we get is, I'll write it here, you have a double bond here. Now this double bond got shifted here there is no hydrogen. Now you only have NH2. The hydride forms bond with this sodium, ionic interactions with sodium, and we get sodium hydride. Now you have a bond between nitrogen and this carbon. So if the nucleophilic attack happens on this structure, you get a substitution on position 2, and if it happens on this structure, you get a substitution on position 4. So our products are these two products. Okay. Now let us do few examples based on this Tti-Valine reaction. So here are the examples of Tti-Valine reaction. Look at the first reaction. Now we have to decide on which position this nucleophile will go and attack. For that we have to write the resonance structures for this compound. So this pi bond, it will shift on nitrogen because nitrogen is more electronegative. So what we get is this resonance structure. And a positive charge is formed on this carbon. You have a pi bond here. So the next resonance structure is this one. Positive charge on this carbon, and the next resonance structure will be, since this bond is shifting here, this carbon will get a positive charge. This carbon, it gets a positive charge. There are pi bonds here. Nitrogen has a negative charge. This bond will shift here, and there is a pi bond here. In the next step, this bond will shift here. This carbon will get a positive charge. In the next step, this bond will shift here and this carbon will get a positive charge. In the next step, this bond will shift here and this carbon will get a positive charge. And in the next step, this bond will shift here and this carbon will get a positive charge. So I'll stop at this position because we have arrived at the same position that we started with. Okay. So I'll stop writing the resonance structures here. Now look at all these structures. You can find positive charge on position 2, on position 4. First let us number it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Okay. So positive charge is there on position 2. Then on position 4, there is a positive charge on position 8, 6 and then 4 and 2. So you have positive charges on position 2, position 4, position 8 and position 6. But we know that this NH2 minus, it cannot attack on this ring because this ring is comparatively more electron dense when compared to this ring, because it has nitrogen and it can withdraw the electron density present on this ring. So this nucleophile will not attack on this ring, it will definitely attack on this ring, and on this ring there are two chances, position 2 and position 4, okay, position 2 and position 4. So we get two products. So we get a substitution of position 2 and position 4. So our products are this. NH2 at position 2 and NH2 at position 4. Now let us look at this second reaction. Now we have to decide on which position this NH2 minus will go and attack. For that we have to again write the resonance structures for this compound. By the way, this compound is called isoquinoline. This one is called quinoline and it is isoquinoline. So we have to write resonance structures for isoquinoline. Okay. Since this nitrogen is more electronegative, this will draw this pi bonded electrons towards itself and this carbon will get a positive charge. So this will get a positive charge, it will get a negative charge. And in the next structure, this carbon will get a positive charge. And in the next structure, this carbon will get a positive charge. In next structure, this carbon will get a positive charge. And in next structure, this carbon will get a positive charge. Sorry, the negative charge is missing on nitrogen. So we have arrived at the same structure that we started with, okay? So if I further write the resonance structures, it will be the repetition of these structures, okay? So in all these resonance structures, you can find that there is positive charge at this position, sorry, I'll mark it. There is a positive charge at this position, on this carbon, on this carbon, okay? But we know that this NH2 minus will definitely not attack on this ring, it will attack on this ring only. Therefore, there is only one option for this NH2 minus to attack, and that is this position. Therefore, we get only one product when this isoquinoline reacts with potassiumide at high temperatures. And that product is this one, okay? Now let us look at this third reaction. We have to write the resonance structures for this compound to decide on which position this NH2 minus will attack, okay? So the compound is this one. So you have a double bond here and a double bond here, okay? So since this nitrogen is more electronegative, it will draw this bi-bonded electrons, and the structure we get is this one. This This carbon will get a positive charge and this nitrogen will get a negative charge. You have a double bond here. Now you can see that there are two single bonds between this positively charged carbon and this pi bond. Therefore, the resonance is not possible and therefore we stop here. Okay. So this NH2 minus will go and attack at this position because there is only one position which is nucleophilic. I mean nucleophilic center or positively charged. So the product you get is this one. Okay. So thank you so much. Let us stop here.